Hello everyone, Frank Anthony here. I'm not going to do an intro for this. This is an update on what happened with about a week ago. I had posted a video that scared some people, understandably. And there was a lot going on mentally, physically, emotionally, just honestly a lot going on. The good news is that I'm doing a little bit better now. I'm not 100% sure if this is one thing that helped me. Maybe it was. But I started taking this certain vitamin, and it has many other vitamins in it. And it has a lot of those vitamins around 100% or at 100%. And I swear once I started taking that a couple days ago, it was like the anxiety just it pretty much stopped, which was crazy because it was so intense when I made the last video and days after that. I'm still trying to figure out finding a doctor and health insurance, and I've slowly been tracking the foods that I've been consuming, and I've been eating a lot better, so it just kind of added a little bit more weight loss to where I'm actually like somewhat of a healthy weight, I guess. Again, they don't consider me overweight, which that's a whole other discussion that we could have on all that. But so far the foods I've been eating, I haven't received a huge negative reaction. There was one or two that made me a little bit bloated and caused like certain gas things, but besides that, nothing to like an extreme allergic reaction, which has been great. I've still been a little bit nervous about trying different things, but I know that I have to figure out what this is. I'm trying to get an appointment with an allergist. They're just not getting back to me yet, and that's maybe because I don't have the health insurance yet. So maybe they're like, well, we want to go through an insurance company first before we actually give you some sort of care. And it sucks because I would pay out of pocket because this is really serious for me and I want to figure out what's going on. And I don't really want to shit on people in the medical field, and I'm not talking about everyone in the medical field, but everyone that I have talked to so far, mostly everyone, has been little to no help. For example, there was a hospital that I called because there was certain thoughts going on in my head, and they gave me certain resources like a hotline and stuff to call. I called the hotline and the company is disconnected. The hotline, the number's out of service, it's disconnected. So it's like, how's that going to help me? I called an association related to eating disorders, left a message. That was about 3-4 days ago. They never called me back. I just don't get people in some of these fields. This is kind of reminding me of the whole squirrel thing, which I realized on YouTube I didn't make a video on that. That was more on my social medias. But long story short, with that, I ended up saving this wild squirrel, or helping it, at least to a certain degree. And anyone related to saving animals or saving squirrels were almost no help at all. And some were really no help at all. And I feel like now I'm going through the same thing, but with my own health. And honestly, there's just certain people that get into these fields that I don't think should get into these fields if they don't really want to help people. But I also understand that there's certain politics that happen behind the scenes too that probably make these jobs even more difficult for these people. Besides the diet stuff that was going on and the anxiety, I mean, the anxiety was just awful. I mean, there was one of the nights I just didn't even want to get up from bed, and I haven't felt a feeling like that in a long time. There were other moments when I'd be pacing my kitchen for like an hour straight, just worrying about anything and everything. Something that I forgot to mention that was also going on during all of this too was, it sounds a little ridiculous, but it happened. So on YouTube, I didn't even realize who this person was originally, but there was a woman that was starting all these arguments with me online. I had commented on someone else's video, and I wasn't even the main comment. I commented on someone's comment, and then this woman only targeted my comment and kept responding to that and saying some really nasty things. Later on, I found out that it was Drake Bell's older sister that was starting this. It was just starting stuff with me because she must have ended up checking out my podcast episode where I talked about him a little bit. And obviously, you know, she's related to him. Of course, she's going to defend him. I mean, most family members would, I guess. in that situation. So that was like a back and forth, and that was going on exactly the same time as, you know, all this other stuff. So my anxiety was just really flaring up because I really don't need to be fighting with people, especially in that emotional state. But it also made me realize that I don't want to talk about, like, one of my anxieties was that I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And I think maybe what part of it really truly was that I didn't feel like I was doing enough good in this world, or certain things I was doing, maybe certain topics I was covering, maybe I didn't, not saying that I didn't have the passion to do it, but maybe it just wasn't something that was adding value to society or online. For example, arguing with his sister, I really could give a damn about that. I care that I don't want people being taken advantage of, but arguing with her was just a complete waste of time. So I want to provide more good into this world, whether it's through podcast episodes or these videos, or, you know, in TikToks or whatever way that I can. I want to be able to provide that while also still sharing parts of my own story. And I also don't want to be afraid to express certain opinions that I may have that people agree with and some people are not going to agree with. I think people should be able to communicate with one another, have a discussion, have a conversation without having to name call one another, without having such a fueled fire and anger behind every single message. So yeah, I'm definitely going to speak my mind. That's for sure. But I'm also going to try to understand other people's views as well, especially the ones that don't agree with everything that I say. If anything, I welcome it into my space. I'm not going to just block people on that. If you're threatening my life or something, that's a whole different thing. And there were other negative comments I was receiving just with everything, just a couple certain things that I was posting. But I'm definitely open to the conversations where people are just trying to explain their side. I do want to understand people's sides on things without being like diminished or name called or talked down to, because that's the same level of respect that I would give to someone else, or that I would like to give to someone else. And I'm definitely working on that. And I think if I just treat life that way, the anxiety is definitely gonna be a little bit lower, at least. I did do an update on certain social medias. I think it was just Facebook and Instagram. I just wanted to give a quick little update on YouTube, since I didn't want to just have that last video of, you know, what I filmed. And I want to show not just the good side, but the not so good side of my personal life. I think we kind of romanticize stuff on the internet, I think a little too much, so that everything looks positive, and then people start feeling bad when certain things in their life aren't as positive as the stuff that's being portrayed online, when in reality all of us go through the negative stuff too. It's just no one's really posting it. So I'm gonna be that person that posts it at times. If I'm comfortable sharing certain parts of my story, I'm gonna do it. A future YouTube video, there's something I'm gonna delve into that I never really talk about publicly, but decided I'm going to, because I know there's people out there that can maybe relate to it, or maybe it can help out and we can kind of go on this journey together. But yes, I am okay. I'm all right now, and I wanted to let people that care, at least I wanted them to know that. The podcast is on pause for the moment, potentially for the rest of August. We'll see what happens. One of the weeks coming up this month, I'm going to go to the beach, which will be really nice. I'm going to go with my roommate, and that should be very relaxing, and just to get out of this space that, honestly, you know, this is a space I'm in a lot. I work in it, I relax a lot in it, and maybe that's also getting to me a little bit too much, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to stay updated with my story and the podcast, or just whatever, if you want to stay updated with me, make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell. It helps. And yeah, I hope everyone has a super special, awesome day. And yeah, take care, everyone. Bye.